This is the Transformers Generations Studio Series 86, figure number 06 from Transformers the movie in 1986, Grimlock and Autobot Wheelie. I picked up this figure from a comic book store here in Manila called Phil Bars. They're not entirely a comic book store anymore. They're a Funko Pop store now with some other action figures and Transformers and some comic books and magazines, but mostly they sell Funko Pops right now. This one, I know I've done a review of this figure already, but I sold off my original figure, so I figured might be a good idea to review this figure with this figure, because that wheelie is basically just an accessory, and it'd be nice if you could see this one with this figure. I picked up this Titan's Return Legends class wheelie from our toys. Let's get them both out of packaging. And here is Leader Class Grimlock out of packaging. And you know what? I love this figure. I mean, this is how a Grimlock toy should look like. It's big, it's massive, it transforms great. It's got great details. Articulation is fantastic. The details of the sculpt is amazing. It looks so much how he looked like in the movie. I can't complain too much with this figure. Let's just end this video right now. This is a great figure. You have to buy it. This figure is going to get a 10 out of 10. That's it. Buy this figure. Obviously we'll have to discuss him a little bit more than that. I'm just so amazed at how well this figure turned out. You can clearly see he's got his trademark, his iconic G1 style blaster in one hand. He's just missing a sword, but I can imagine why Hasbro didn't put sword, because they were trying to save money and he didn't use the sword in the movie, so okay. So that's what they did. The colors are great. They made metallic, sort of metallic yellow gold on the talons or the claws of the feet, the neck. They even put that should have been gold chrome chest in the G1 toy, but they made it a gold metallic type of yellow, which turned out great. You can see all the iconic look of the character in this figure. He's got huge feet, those wings, Dinobot head at the back. There's nothing more I can ask for from this figure. Looking at the details of the figure, he comes with this amazing diorama, which is from the Pit of Judgment on that planet with the Quintessons and the Sharkticons. He also comes with this accessory. It's a minifigure of Wheelie. Wheelie here, Wheelie need to go. I mean, that guy was just so annoying in the movie, but he got them the ship to get off that rock, and it's an accessory. It's a figure that has limited articulation, ball-jointed hips, ball-jointed arms, and a ball-jointed neck and waist swivel. So you can pose him like this. He's about to shoot his slingshot, but there's no energon, there's no anything like that. It's actually pretty well detailed. Nice colors, very accurate to the movie. Great head sculpt, but it doesn't transform and it doesn't have any other articulation. The figure has this peg right here, which you can stick into one of the holes on Grimlock's shoulders. There's another one here. You can obviously stick it there, but it's okay. It's really meant to be an accessory of a figure. It is Wheelie. It's perfect scale with Grimlock, but it's not an actual Transformer figure. It's basically an articulated accessory. So we'll get that off. Titan's Return Wheelie, and clearly there's no comparison. This is the better Wheelie. So don't be in a hurry or in a rush to sell off this figure, because you're probably thinking, oh, I'm going to just rely on this Wheelie. This Wheelie is not, it's not a Transformer figure. It's an accessory. This is a transforming Wheelie, and you know what? Despite what a lot of people are saying, that it's not in scale, I'm pretty okay with it. It's like a grown-up Wheelie, and yeah, clearly definitely not in scale, but I do like him, and this is still my Wheelie. And I'm pretty sure the prices on this one and the Takara Tomy version is not going to go down anytime soon. On to Grimlock, King of the Dinobots. Be Grimlock King! There is no light piping. It's just painted in that metallic blue. That's fine. I'm glad they made it cartoon accurate because the toy was painted red. I guess I mentioned the gold metallic paint finishes in some of the pieces. Bright red plastic right here. Nice glossy black and gray bits. So yeah, the plastic feels very, very premium on this figure. If at all, if I'm gonna nitpick, I know, it wouldn't be a Chefatron review without me complaining about something. I don't want to complain actually, but it feels a little bit light. That's the only thing I noticed. The plastic, albeit looks so premium, just feels a tad bit light. That's not a big complaint. That's not even a complaint. It's just an observation. So this is by far the most definitive cartoon accurate Grimlock we've gotten from Hasbro or Takara Tomy. Articulation for the figure. The neck is on a ball joint. He's got this waist swivel. The arms can go in and out, forward and backward on a ratcheting joint. The bicep has a swivel cut, hinge elbows. Wrists can rotate, can go in and out because of transformation, and these claws can fold up if you wanted them to. Okay, the hips can do the splits, go forward and backward, thigh swivel, hinge knees, and the ever-present ankle rockers. So let's do some size comparisons. Here he is with my beat up vintage G1 Grimlock. You can clearly see the similarities of the blaster, the aesthetics of the figure, the wings, the chest, the feet. Very, very clear where it's coming from. I've seen some reviewers question why the talons or the claws on the Dinobot feet are actually moving. That is a nod to these moving Dinobot claws from G1, and they will actually help stabilize the Dinobot mode or the Dinosaur mode when doing some poses with the legs, which I'll show off later when we get to Dinobot mode. And here he is with the power of the primes, or the combiner Voyager class Grimlock. And here he is with Cup. Here he is with Earthrise Optimus Prime. And just so you can appreciate the scale of this figure, here he is with Power of the Primes Leader Class Optimus Prime. And I'm already appreciating how massive this Leader Class figure is, given the trend that we've been seeing from Hasbro of really shrinking down their figures. I'm very glad and happy that they can still come up with a huge, massive figure like this one. And finally, here he is with a Sharkticon. And now on to the transformation. Don't worry, transformation is not dreadful. It's actually kind of fun. I actually enjoyed the transformation for this figure. Despite being a huge figure, transformation is actually pretty straightforward. So put the gun off to the side. We're not going to need this even in alt mode. Go ahead and lock those four arms just like that. It's a clip. One thing I did notice are that peg, those clips that they clip on. I honestly hope that this is very, very good plastic, that it will stand the test of time, because the more you keep doing that, I'm pretty sure that thing's going to be brittle and break off, but hopefully it will last. Fists, make sure they're straight, and a swing inward like that. He's going to fold the heel spur just like this, like that. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to open these like this, and then fold out the tail section just like that. You want to lift this head right here. Instructions tell you to just join the legs right now, but I always like to just fold the feet up first before combining them. So it's just easier that way. So do it this way, and then these heel spurs, you can see right there, they've got slots. They're gonna slot into those fins right there on the back of his hips. So slot in like that, and then once they're secure, you can combine the feet properly. Okay, collapse these panels like so. That, just like G1 style transformation, the fashion of that old 80s transformation, you got to fold down that whole chest assembly and then fold it down right here. And you can clearly see there's these pegs right here that have been formed when you combine the feet or the legs. You're gonna slot those right there. Okay, once you've done that, just try and adjust everything so that it's all plain and level. There are going to be gaps. That's probably a very minor complaint that I have, but it doesn't bug me as much. Some gaps here and there, but it's fine. Okay, and then there's another set of hinges right here for both arms. So once you've locked the forearm joints, you can then unlock this secondary joint right here. So you'll have some knees for the T-Rex dinosaur mode. I have to fold it all the way. So fold it up like this, and here's where these claws play a part. You fold them down so that they'll stabilize the dinosaur mode, which is fine, which is really great. Okay, and then the wings do have hinges right here, which is nice. You can pose those wings just like in the cartoon, how they were, how Grimlock looked like with the wings. Fold down this head assembly like that. Collapse the wings over the head and the chest like this. Move out the arms so it looks more like Grimlock's hands. And finally the head, the Dinobot head, dinosaur head, folds down this way. And there you go. There is Grimlock in his Dinobot mode. Me, Grimlock King! And he has a lot of articulation actually in dinosaur mode. So the legs will share the articulation of the arms. You can get him in some nice, decent poses, even without the tail lifted off the ground. These claws will really help in stabilizing the alt mode. Pretty neat. The neck has a significant amount of articulation. I was surprised. It can swivel like this. 360. The neck can hinge, the jaw can hinge up and down, and the mouth can do the chomp chomp and can open up and talk. There is a peg right there at the back of his tongue or the back of his jaw, and then you can plug in an effect, a flame effect. This is from Jetfire, Siege Jetfire, and you can have that. Really can connect right here, and you can make him right. There are slots right there, some slats for this piece of the leg, I believe, but the instructions tell you otherwise. They tell you to just peg in those pegs right there onto the feet like that, and the fins don't really attach the legs anywhere. So this is the best I could do to attach Wheelie. Okay, all right, let me just fix it properly. Okay, and it kind of reaches that fin right there. It's supposed to just tab in like that, but it just doesn't. So I'm gonna stick with this. Okay, so it works as an accessory. It's pretty cool. Let me just remove him very quickly so we can see if the other Wheelie can actually mount Grimlock. Okay. So yeah, this Wheelie is actually pretty neat as well. It doesn't bother me as much as it's a little bit big, but given the fact that this is a non-transforming, limited articulation figure, I think that Wheelie works. He just needs a slingshot. And for some comparisons in Dinobot mode or Dinosaur T-Rex mode, here is Studio Series 86 Grimlock with the G1. Grimlock, vintage Grimlock, as well as a Power of the Primes combiner Grimlock. This figure literally makes this figure obsolete. It draws so much inspiration from the old G1 toy, and yet gives us the look and feel of how Grimlock looked in the cartoon. The figure actually feels like it is a masterpiece figure. This is the first time I've actually felt that for the Studio Series 86 figure. Yes, more than Hot Rod. This Grimlock figure does indeed feel like it's a masterpiece. It's not so complicated and as expensive as a masterpiece figure, but it does the job. It gives you a lot of satisfaction in transforming. It gives you a lot of aesthetic and very close a likeness to how Grimlock looked in the movie and the cartoon, and at the same time gives you a ton of nostalgia of the G1 Grimlock. So I don't know what I'm actually going to do with this figure, but if you do still want a combining Dinobot set or Dinobot team, I guess it's worth keeping the Power of the Primes Dinobots, but I honestly hope they do all the Dinobots, including Snarl, because we only see 4 of them in the movie most of the time. And I do wish they do all 5 in the Studio Series format, because it is going to look absolutely amazing. And so some final thoughts on this Grimlock figure. Oh my goodness, need I say more? This is an amazing, amazing Grimlock figure. This is by far the best, the most definitive G1 styled, cartoon accurate, show accurate Grimlock we've ever gotten from Hasbro or Takara Tomy. And I'm absolutely pleased with this figure. It has fantastic details. Transformation is amazing for such a big figure. Aesthetics look great. The colors look great. Articulation is amazing. Transformation great. There's really nothing more to ask for this Grimlock except maybe a few accessories like a sword, maybe some chrome paint. Those are very, very minor things that Hasbro can do to improve on this figure. This figure is perfect for me. It will get a 10 out of 10. I absolutely love this. I cannot recommend it enough. If you have to pick up just one figure from the first wave of the Studio Series 86 figures, it has to be Grimlock. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this figure. As always, hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. If it's your first time here, please subscribe. And if you want to help the channel out, please check out my Patreon account. There's a link in the description box below. Thanks for watching.